why he came to the street.
I mean, a significant number, 15% of the children are still not in school, they are outside. And then from there, it might be said that, many of the children who do not go to school turn up into different forms of work, including child labor. Either they are supporting their families, or they are working independently in the area. Some of them come to the city area and then turn up in a different kind of works like restaurants, massage parlors, carpet factories, and sometimes these children also come into the street. They become street children.
There are many reasons why children come to streets and become street children. If you talk about macro level, there are a lot of issues to be discussed, to be understood in the socio-economical and geopolitical level. Because the kind of society we have been, it was feudalistic society, guided by a lot of exploitative relations in society. A lot of people in the rural areas or even in the urban poor areas do not have access to the mainstream development programs. They are also excluded from mainstream development. Their right for a dignified life has been denied for a long time, and as a consequence, a lot of people move towards city centers in search of a better life, and that also bring a lot of children along with their parents in search of a better life for themselves as well, because the parents were exploited, because the parents did not have access to the development program, because the parents were made poor and they do not own any property or land, and they work for others and for their employers, and where there is very unfair labor relations. They are not well paid even if they do have jobs, and also there's a lot of problem of labor rights. There are a lot of problems of labor rights as well, because these adults or parents of children, when they do not make a good living, then their children definitely suffer. And the whole education system also is something we have to look into, because when children are not going to school in villages and their parents are taking them as a source of income for this family subsistence, then children are forced to work in different sectors and land into different vulnerable situations, including the street. There are many other work sectors where children are engaged and where they are working in a very vulnerable and hazardous situations, and street life is one of it. And when children come to the streets, it's kind of taken as last resort by the children themselves. It's not the first choice for any child from a village or urban poor areas to come into the street and become a street life.
The boy from Dakshin Kali is now a boy from the street, and it is there where he has been learning to survive for his living. If the dangers of street grasp him, he may be one of the many who are on a road towards a tragedy. Are we ready to endure such tragedies by using words as khate against them? Are we ready to bear such guilt upon our conscience? We need to look upon them as single children, a single live world, who are in need of our care. The change must first start from us, not from them.
The street children are most of the times taken as problems, and that's the kind of attitude we all have to change. The state, the authorities, the organizations, the social workers have to bring in a lot of change in in the attitudes of themselves and in the way they work with street children, because the street children are very intelligent, they are so resourceful, and it's the challenge for us, it's the challenge for organizations and adults to understand their aspirations, to understand their self-worth, and to give a lot of space for their views reflected in the programs that is being designed or conducted for them. I think an ordinary citizen can be sensitive towards street children, at least trying to be, what would I say, at least the ordinary citizen can be sensitive towards the street child, not using like a bad or degrading, derogative, I would say, no. At least look at street children as individuals, not as like problems, and try to understand their situation, their vulnerability, and at least not use derogative words to them. And if the citizen wants to do anything, they can at least bring a link with the street child to organizations, or if an individual wants to do something in his or her own, then do some constructive support. Just by giving few rupees, like one-time support, is not going to help the street children at all.
सोर्कुटेलाई जान्थे बस्थ्यो सडकमा कसले सुन्छ बिरतमा जोगी आयो खरानी दसेर भयो जोवन सडकमै बसेर बस्थ्यो सडकमा कसले सुन्छ बिरतमा अब हामी बस्दैन सडकमा सस्ताबाट जाँदैछु घर घरमा बस्थ्यो सडकमा कसले सुन्छ बिरतमा